What's up guys, XHOUNDISHx here, and today we're going to jump in and check out the vendor weapon reset for the week starting the 4th of April. So let's jump straight in at the Crucible Quartermaster here, and we have the 0-Day Dilemma. This comes with MD Reflex, Quick Draw IS and OEG rifle scope right there. I'm not the biggest fan of these particular scopes, man, that were added in the Taken King, but Quick Draw IS is okay. We have Battle Runner, which is pretty interesting, and Danger Close. I would recommend going with Battle Runner right there. In the middle column we have Braced Frame or Appended Magazine. Braced Frame will drop your magazine size, which isn't perfect, so I would probably go with Appended Magazine and Base Stability right there if I was to use this thing. Hidden Hand is a pretty good perk on this kind of auto rifle in general, so you could rock Hidden Hand, Appended Magazine and Battle Runner right there. We've got a B29 Party Favor with MD Reflex, Sure Shot and OEG scope. Sure Shot is always nice. We have Outlaw right there and Partial Refund in the middle. Perfect Balance and Lightweight, and finally Glass Half Full. So Glass Half Full with Perfect Balance and Outlaw could be a pretty nice role for this in PvP. Perfect Balance will give you decent stability. It's not, you know, max stability. You will have a little bit of kick there, but it's pretty solid on the whole. So if you're into these kind of pulse rifles, definitely try this thing out. The hero formula up next with MD Reflex, Ranged Lens and OEG scopes. We have Eye of the Storm, Who's Next, Small Bore, Explosive Rounds and Firefly right there. So Firefly with Explosive Rounds and Eye of the Storm might not be a bad role for PvE stuff right there. If you need a nice scout rifle with Explosive Rounds and Firefly, you know, this thing could be pretty nice. The Palindrome this week, not quite coming in with the kind of god rolls that we've seen recently, but we have True Sight, Fast Draw and Quick Draw IS right there. Relentless Tracker and Last Resort, two perks that I'm not a massive fan of. In the middle though we have Hammer Forged and Lightweight, and finally Hidden Hand. So Hidden Hand is always good. You're going to land your shots pretty easily with this thing. It also has Hammer Forged, which gives you a little bit more accuracy. You're not going to get the kind of max range that you would get with Rifle Barrel. Rifle Barrel is hands down a better range bonus for this hand cannon, although this will still have more range than most legendary hand cannons. So it's not terrible right there. We also do have a Lightweight, so not godly like we've seen in the past couple of weeks, but still fairly decent if you don't have any of the other roles. Each new day has MD Reflex, Red Dot ORA2 and OEG scopes. We have Battle Runner and Icarus, both pretty cool perks depending on your playstyle. These can be pretty nice for fusion rifles. In the middle we have Small Bore for increased range and stability, and finally Accelerated Coils in the middle also has Counterbalance. So pretty interesting perk for fusion rifles. I can't really say how good this is as far as projectile grouping on fusion rifles. I don't think it's going to be a fantastic bonus, but definitely for fusion rifle enthusiasts it might be worth playing around with this thing. We have the 44 Curtain Call with Smooth Ballistics, Field Choke and Aggressive Ballistics right there. We've got Cascade and Army of One, both pretty nice perks, can be pretty useful in PvP and PvE. We have Rifled Barrel, so it's got pretty decent range on the whole right there. Just looking at these ballistics, you will lose a ton of range if you use anything other than smooth ballistics. Also has Lightweight and Rangefinder. So if you don't have a 44 Curtain Call, it may be worth you trying this thing out with Rangefinder, Rifle Barrel and Cascade in particular could be a lot of fun. Anton's Rule has True Sight, Sure Shot and Quick Draw IS. Sure Shot is always nice. We've got Zen, Moment or Feeding Frenzy. I would absolutely choose Feeding Frenzy right there. Faster reloads are always good. We've got Fitted Stock for more stability or high caliber rounds, which I think can be a fairly decent perk on sidearms, and also we have Hot Swap for a brief period of bonus accuracy right there. So you can really mess around with either Fitted Stock or high caliber rounds, and Feeding Frenzy right there, this could be one for the collection if you're into your sidearms. We've got the Event Horizon with Hawkeye, Short Gaze and Taxis. Of course Short Gaze is the popular one for PvP. We've got Triple Tap or Mulligan, which both of them can be pretty useful in PvE. Of course Mulligan would be nice for PvP stuff in particular. We've got Skip Rounds or Casket Mag right there. Casket Mag is just not a great option, I don't think. We've got Skip Rounds, so I guess you could try that. And we also have Hidden Hand, which does give you better target acquisition. This isn't a brilliant role in my opinion. It does have, of course, Hidden Hand, and we've got Short Gaze right there. So if you didn't get the role of this in Rise of Iron, which had Sure Gaze and Hidden Hand, then this could be worth trying out in PvP. It's just a shame that you've either got to go with skip rounds or casket mag. Skip rounds does slow weapon handling, which isn't ideal for PvP, and I think that's a shame, but otherwise it might be worth playing around with. We have Chaotic Neutral with Accurized Ballistics, Smart Drift Control and Field Choke right there. Unflinching and Spray and Play. I would probably go Spray and Play right there generally for a machine gun. We've got Perfect Balance, Rifled Barrel and Hidden Hand. So this could be okay for PvP if you want to try out a super high impact machine gun. We've got something wicked with Warhead Verniers, Soft Launch and Countermass right there. Nothing too exciting. We have Battle Runner or Army of One, Quick Draw and Javelin, and then Tripod. This just doesn't get me too excited, you know. It's not great for PvE, it's not great for PvP. There are absolutely better rocket launchers that you could pick up. At the Vanguard Quartermaster, we have the Continental with MD Reflex, Quick Draw IS and OEG Rifle Scope. Quick Draw is fairly nice on these things, as well as MD Reflex, to be fair. We have Crowd Control or Danger Close. Crowd Control, absolutely the better option right here. We have Perfect Balance for a pretty nice boost to stability, or Rifle Barrel for a very nice boost to range. And then finally Third Eye. So pretty nice roll right there. You can have plenty of stability, you can have plenty of range depending on your preference. Crowd Control, good for PvE and PvP. Third Eye, if it's your kind of thing and you like these auto rifles, this is a pretty nice roll. We have Parthian Shot with Red Dot ORA, Sure Shot IS and OEG. Sure Shot IS is my personal favorite for this thing. We have Secret Round or Partial Refund. Neither of these perks really get me particularly excited right there. In the middle we have Small Bore, which doesn't really give you the kind of stability that you want on this thing, although the range is really nice. It does drop the mag size as well, so just not too fantastic. We have Lightweight and Glass Half Full. Because of Small Bore and the kind of really lackluster perks right here, this roll is not too appealing. We have Angel's Advocate with Red Dot ORA, Ranged Lens and OEG Rifle Scope. We've got Outlaw or Last Resort. Outlaw is absolutely the better option. We've got Small Bore or Explosive Rounds right there, as well as Firefly. So another pretty nice roll for PvE right there. Firefly, Explosive Rounds and Outlaw. You've got like a Fatebringer scout rifle going on. Pretty nice stuff. How Dare You with True Sight IS, Sure Shot IS and Quick Draw. Sure Shot's always good. We've got Relentless Tracker or Partial Refund. Again, not too exciting, but if you appreciate Relentless Tracker, it could be okay. Rifled Barrel, so you're going to hit the most range that you can get out of this hand cannon, although that's not as high as the max range you'd have on Palindrome, for example. We have Explosive Rounds or Rangefinder. So this could be worth playing around with if you like this higher rate of fire archetype for PvP. It does have Rangefinder and Rifle Barrel, Relentless Tracker and Sure Shot IS. So if this is your kind of thing, then this is a fairly decent roll. We have xHOUNDISHx with the Reflex Scope, Red Dot ORA and OEG. Battle Runner right there, as well as Underdog. Pretty interesting set of perks. Battle Runner I like for fusion rifles personally. We have Small Bore for more range and stability. That's probably a fairly good choice on this thing actually, or Accelerated Coils, and finally Hidden Hand. So yeah, not an absolute god roll, but a fairly functional roll for PvP in particular if you like fusion rifles. We've got Teacup Tempest with Steady Hand IS, Sure Shot IS and Quick Draw. Relentless Tracker, Cascade right there, two pretty decent options depending on your preference. We've got Snapshot and High Caliber Rounds. Again, High Caliber Rounds can be okay on sidearms, and Rangefinder right there. It's a shame that it doesn't have Quick Draw. I feel like Quick Draw is the better perk for sidearms in general. There have been better sidearm rolls in the tower, but this one's not too bad. We've got an Occam's Razor with Smart Drift Control, Accurized and Soft Ballistics right there. We have Cascade and Battle Runner. Again, pretty useful and fun perks depending on your preference. We've got Rifled Barrel, so decent range for this kind of archetype. Perfect Balance, definitely go with Rifle Barrel right there. And finally, Crowd Control. So although this isn't the full auto roll they had last week, this still could be a pretty nice roll for PvE stuff. We have the 7th Sense with Wild Hawk, View Tac and Ambush right there. We've got Army of One and Perfectionist. Magazine is refunded if all shots fired are precision kills, which is a pretty interesting perk. We have Skip Rounds and Perfect Balance, as well as Hidden Hand right there. This could have been potentially an interesting role for PvE stuff in particular, but the impact class is just not great inside of PvE content. For PvP, the scopes right here aren't really my preference, but some people will enjoy ambush ambush in particular, so it may be a role that you want to try out. You've got the Bone Crusher with aggressive ballistics, linear compensator, and field choke right there. You're definitely going to want to go with linear compensator or field choke just to give you a little bit of range and stability. We have life support or take a knee, which is interesting. I guess life support is probably the better option here. I just don't feel too excited about either of these. We have braced frame for plenty of stability at the expense of mag size. This thing has 25 rounds in the mag, so I probably wouldn't go for that. We've got appended magazine, so that's probably the better choice, and crowd control. So not too bad as far as perks go. Could be okay in PvE stuff. There are definitely better machine guns though. Finally, disassembly required with warhead verniers, smart drift control, and counter mass. Nothing too exciting. We've got grenadier, army of one, quick draw, and heavy payload, and finally tripod. Again, not great for PvP or PvE stuff. There are just simply better things that you can pick up. Extrema file from Dead Orbit with MD Reflex, Quick Draw IS, and OEG scopes right there. We've got armor piercing rounds or snapshot. Either of these can be worth playing around with a little bit. We've got perfect balance or rodeo. I would probably opt for perfect balance, to be honest. Rodeo can be okay on this kind of auto rifle, but perfect balance is probably going to help you, a fair amount as well. And finally, we have rangefinder. So a pretty decent role for this archetype. You could definitely do better. We have the Keystone with red dot ORA 2, ranged lens, and OEG rifle scope right there. Armor piercing rounds and snapshot. Armor piercing rounds could be fairly decent for PvE content. We do have hammer forged or unflinching. I don't really rate unflinching massively in general, so I'd probably go hammer forged. And it also has firefly, so an interesting role, especially for PvE stuff. We have worlds to come with the reflex scope, red dot ORA 2, and OEG scopes. Enhanced battery for a larger mag size or snapshot, both pretty cool options potentially. We have hammer forged, which gives it some decent range, or performance bonus, which is a pretty nice perk in the Crucible. Having more special ammo on kills is always good. And we have hot swap as well, which can be okay for fusion rifles. So not the best role of this thing, but it does have some pretty beneficial perks. We have the last ditch with smooth ballistics, CQB ballistics, and aggressive ballistics right there. Aggressive ballistics gives you decent impact, but with this particular shotgun, you're going to lose a bit of range right there. We have extended mag and lightweight. Up next, small bore, so more range and stability, but again, you don't have the best range options on this thing. Surrounded is up next, which can be okay, and we do have rangefinder. It's not a terrible role right there, but it's not, the max impact, max potential range kind of role that a lot of people like for the Crucible. We have the bitter edge with Hawkeye, long view, and eagle eye right there. We've got explosive rounds or lightweight. Up next, small bore or life support, and finally take a knee. So not my kind of sniper. It could be kind of fun to play around with in things like combined arms, really big maps and stuff like that, but otherwise I don't think it's a great PvP or PvE sniper, especially because of its impact class, but the perks are pretty interesting. We've got Unto Dust, aggressive launch, soft launch, and counter mass right there, field scout or lightweight, perfect balance or spray and play, and finally grenades and horseshoes. This just doesn't excite me. I keep saying these rocket launchers are bad, man, but in PvE, people are going to use their exotics, they're going to use their, stronger, heavy weapons in general, and in PvP, there again are just simply better rocket launchers. The Whale from FWC has True Sight, Fast Draw, and Quick Draw IS. We've got high caliber rounds and hip fire right there. I don't really rate either of these perks that much, but High Cal could be okay. We've got perfect balance for more stability or third eye, so no range improvements there, which is unfortunate. But if you like a stability role, maybe try high caliber rounds, and it does have look in the chamber. Some people will definitely enjoy this thing in the Crucible, and probably in some PvE content as well. We've got the Waltz with Reflex, Sure Shot IS, and OEG scopes, armor piercing rounds, and hip fire. Not very exciting right there. We've got perfect balance or Eye of the Storm. Perfect balance won't give you tons of stability on this thing. And finally, we have Rodeo. So all around, it just doesn't kind of stand out as a great weapon for any kind of content, really. We have the Waiting with MD Reflex, red dot ORA, and OEG. Accelerated coils and lightweight right there. Accelerated coils can be okay on this archetype. We have small bore for more range and stability, as well as knee pads right there. And finally, rangefinder. So some pretty good combinations for PvP stuff right there. This could actually make for a fairly nice nice PvP role. We have the Wounded with red dot ORA, focus lens and OEG rifle scope. We've got extended magazine or lightweight. I would probably go extended mag right there. Small bore for more range and stability or triple tap, and finally Zen Moment. It's not the best for PvE or PvP, but everything that we have here is pretty functional and fairly decent. We got the Wormwood, True Sight, Fast Draw and Quick Draw IS, high caliber rounds and snapshot. I would probably run high caliber rounds right there. We've got hand loaded for more range, which is good. Zen Moment, which I don't rate on sidearms too much, and we have rangefinder. So high caliber rounds, hand loaded and rangefinder should make for a pretty nice setup right there, especially if you don't already have a Wormwood. They are still very good in the Crucible. We have the Warpath with confined launch, smart drift control and hard launch right there. You could run with hard launch. Up next we have flared magwell and lightweight. I would probably go flared magwell for PvE stuff. We've got perfect balance or tripod, and then finally cluster bomb. So cluster bomb, tripod, flared magwell and hard launch right there actually makes for a okay PvE launcher. Finally, for new monarchy, we have the Assembly 2 with MD reflex, steady hand and OEG rifle scope. We've got high caliber rounds or hip fire. High caliber rounds is pretty nasty on these high rate of fire auto rifles. We have perfect balance or crowd control right there. Perfect balance gives you a bit more stability, but you know, it's not kind of along the lines of the doctrine of passing with braced frame, but we do have counterbalance, and this is one of the better roles we've seen of this particular auto rifle. If you like these things, you know, in any content really, this actually might not be too bad of a role. We've got the Free Will 3 right here with steady hand, sure shot and quick draw IS, explosive rounds or hip fire. We have perfect balance or hot swap, and then finally look in the chamber. So there's some playing around with this that you could do for PvE or PvP content. If you're into these kind of like mini high rate of fire hand cannon style things with look in the chamber, actually this could be a bit of fun. We have the Impeacher sidearm with True Sight, Fast Draw and Quick Draw IS. We've got high caliber rounds. Man, they like putting high cal on sidearms this week. We have a lightweight, fitted stock for more stability, army of one, and we have rangefinder. So running right across the top right there, if you like this lower impact style of sidearm, this could be pretty nice for PvP. We've got the Bad Council shotgun, and we've got smart drift, accurized ballistics and aggressive ballistics. We have extended magazine, which is nice, hip fire, hammer forged or cascade right there, and full auto. So pretty nice PvE role actually, or potential PvP role if this is the kind of shotgun you're into. We've got the Deposition with Hawkeye, short gaze and Taxis. So short gaze is there if that's your favorite scope. We've got skip rounds or snapshot. Snapshot is always nice. We have hammer forged or triple tap, and finally take a knee, but this is a take a knee sniper with short gaze. So again, if you're into the take a knee thing, or perhaps you know want something to mess around with in larger PvP or PvE content, then this could be pretty fun. We've got the First Citizen with accurized linear compensator and field choke. We have extended magazine or snapshot. I would probably run extended mag. We have hammer forged or feeding frenzy right there, both pretty nice options. And finally persistence. This is a max rate of fire machine gun, and it doesn't have super high stability right there. I'm not sure how that is going to handle, but if you want an absolute bullet hose machine gun, you could definitely do worse than this. And that pretty much sums up this video, guys. Every vendor weapon inside of the tower for this week. The past couple of weeks have been a bit all over the place because we've had new reprised raids, but as of next week I will be launching all of these vendor reset videos, including stat rolls for armor immediately after reset. So anyway, I hope you guys did find this video useful. If you did, a like and comment below is appreciated. If you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny content, but for now, you have an awesome day.